Hello everyone and welcome to This Week is Stupid for the 4th of August 2024. I'm here not with Spoons but with Mr. Ors, who has been absent for the last 2 or 3 weeks. How's it going, man?
3 weeks? Yeah, it's doing pretty good this time. How about you, V?
Well, with me it's a little bit more chaotic because my son just managed to get 1 month old. So,
Oh, yes.
yeah, like every month I will say to myself, maybe it's better than the last month, you know? Because
hmm
at one point I understand that they allow you to sleep at night and I want to reach that milestone.
Yeah, and then you're going to get the terrible twos eventually.
Oh, is that a thing?
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh,
Oh, yes, it
goodness.
is.
Goodness. Yeah, like some people were telling me that they're nice when they're young, actually, because when they grow up, they become cheeky little shits.
Yeah, there will be phases. There
The,
will be.
the teenage years, and then you may have it, like, if you were a bad father, when they grow up, they forget about you, so
Yeah.
there's also that. But anyway, right, so let's get into it. I did post an article. A lot of people are praising it. It's the first time that people are saying something positive about the European Union from within my sphere. Because usually in my sphere, we don't like the EU, or I don't know why. Bureaucracy bad. But anyway.
All right. Which article was it? Tell me about it.
I will tell you. EU gamers petition to stop killing video games.
Oh,
Politicians,
yeah.
politicians may get involved.
Yeah. We're talking about the service games and such, or old games that are basically being turned off and more or
Yeah.
less being dusted after the fact and kind of protected by this weird copyright shit where you're not even allowed to pirate a modded version for yourself.
Exactly. Now the thing is,
Yeah,
like,
bullshit.
a lot of people are happy when the government regulates, but I have yet to see that many regulations where they were actually fit for purpose. Like,
Yeah,
usually when the
like
government regulates, they end up fucking things up. But let's see what this is about. So, a new EU citizen initiative demands that video game publishers keep their games playable even after the support ends. The Stop Destroying Video Game petitions needs 1 million signatures to bring it to political attention. The initiative
hmm
almost has 12,000. It actually has more at this time, but it
yeah,
was at the
definitely
time
by
of
now.
writing. Yeah. And gamers are calling on politicians to oblige game publishers to leave video games in a functional, playable state. Video games
hmm
are being destroyed. Most video games work indefinitely, but the growing numbers are designed to stop them working as soon as the support ends. This effectively robs the customer, destroying games as an art form, and is unnecessary. Our movement seeks to pass a new EU law to put a stop to this practice. Organizers argued that video game industry worth hundreds of billions of dollars has been slowly eroding basic consumer rights and destroying the medium. Requirements such as an active internet connection usually means that these video games will stop working once the support period ends. The ability for a company to destroy an item that has already been sold to the customer long after the fact is not something that normally occurs in the industry. The organizers claim they do not seek to rob publishers of intellectual property rights or monetization. They only want the game to be playable after the video game has been discontinued. Finally, if citizens' initiatives get enough support, EU authorities will have to consider the issue, and this is going to spark an important conversation.
Indeed, it should as well, because
Hmm.
it's about time that it's about time that when we purchase something that we have it,
Yeah,
right?
but like here's my question. What about a game like Nikkei, right? Where
Yeah,
you need to connect online because you can only play it online,
yeah. Well,
and
that's literally a game that you're going in knowing that it's a service,
yeah,
right? But there's a lot of games that are being forced as a service. Like let's take a look for an example as to most of the Ubisoft games that have been coming out around, like even if they're single player, right?
yeah.
With an artificial expectation that the service is turned on just to allow more or less the transactions and such for monetization and all. But like when you're going into a game and you're purchasing the game knowing that all of the content updates and such are going to be provided by, say, the company on the other end, that's different. That's like you're going in on a platform as a service,
But
right?
here's
So
my question though: like, will the
yeah.
EU know the difference? Because if they don't know the
Well,
difference,
software as a service, platform as a service, and iPass as a service have all their own jargon and terminologies that are already recognized inside the EU because these kinds of services, like the gaming section, uses the same logic that's already in existence for other services like integration platforms and such. So, from a technical standpoint, the understanding of the underlying mechanics behind it is already understood by the
hmm.
EU.
Because, like, I do get where you're coming from, right? Like, let's take a game like World of Warcraft, right? Now, let's say
Yeah.
that Blizzard just wants to pull the plug on World of Warcraft because it doesn't have enough players, right? And it's not
Yeah. Like
profitable. Right
Yeah, and
now,
if they're no longer benefiting from it,
yeah,
honestly, it should be possible to take the existing content and create a reverse engineered like standalone server, like they used to do for two games called that were called Lineage 2,
hmm,
and even the old World of Warcraft classic shit that they used to do, right?
yeah.
All of the core information is actually available inside the game client, with some exception, like certain like event-based NPCs and such might be toggled on, toggled off. But the majority of the actual information, like the textures, the world shape, the world mapping, and all of that shit, is already in the client itself.
Yeah, I mean,
So
the thing
it
is,
should
like,
be easy to
with
continue service.
MMOs, like, I expect that one day, if Blizzard shuts down, you lose everything, right? You lose your player
Yeah.
character, you lose the ability to play the game ever again. Like, I
Yep.
get that, right? But then you have a game like Red Alert. Now, Red Alert was one of my favorite strategy games of all time, especially Red
Oh
Alert
yeah, it's a
3.
classic.
Yeah, a lot of people
Mhm.
didn't like Red Alert 3, but I loved it. However, if you want to play multiplayer now, you cannot. They withdrew
Yep.
support. So,
That's right. You need to download a third person
yes.
patch and run an emulated server in order to create the little micro engine in the background that would allow you to connect. Yeah.
Yeah, and that to me pissed me off. But like, imagine if you wouldn't be able to play Red Alert at all, and the only way to
Yeah, I
play
know.
it would be if you can pirate it. And then when you do that, the company actually goes after your ass because it's their IP.
Yeah, well, take a look what you're saying is already happening. Look at the people on Xbox and PS5 that are turning on their machines and waking up. They log into their fucking account and they see 3 or 4 different notifications. Oh, by the way, we have permanently disabled access to this game that you purchased 5 years ago, with all of your DLC and all of your extended packages. And it's a single player game. Like, they're not just turning off access to the multiplayer component, like, say, Call of Duty or whatever the fuck. They're actually turning off the single player campaign as well. It's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there's another game that went into a controversy. I've never played it, and eventually I did find the guy that did. It was called
Yeah?
The Crew. It was a Ubi shit game.
Oh, yeah, the
And-
crew. That was a fucking great
Yeah,
concept.
And my take was, I understand that the game requires online play and blah blah blah, but like, why can't you work with a third party to let them have a server, right? Like, if you're going to shut it down, why? And I don't know how the game works. Like, if you can just shut down the multiplayer components and just let the single player people have a go. But assuming you can't, like, why just not give the technology? Like, if you're going to dump the game, right, out of respect for your customers, then give the technology to like a third party site, because there are many, and make it open source or whatever, so that other people from the fandom can pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Corto Maltese
I mean-
says, I assume the worst, that they were going after violent video games. My surprise that they're actually doing something good. I don't think anyone cares about violent video games that much now.
Yeah, be careful about saying doing something good. Remember that the action hasn't taken place yet.
Yeah. And it is the
So-
EU, so...
Yeah, be careful, right? Because if this actually gets a lot of political momentum, it's only a matter of time before someone attempts to attach something cancerous to the side of it. No good legislation goes through just as good legislation. Someone's going to attach something, or someone's going to reach in a little bit further. So this is the point where we say that at least they're waking up to a good reason to act. Now let's see and make sure that they take the right steps when they're acting, which is a whole other ballgame.
Yeah. The violent video games, I don't think anyone cares about violent video games. Like, people care more about sexuality in games now. Yeah, like in the 90s, no one fucking cared. Like you could have, and I was looking at Game Informer publication, the box art of Game Informer.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like
Rip
a
and
dead or
Pete.
alive chick, literally in a bikini, right? And it looked
Yeah,
like a Playboy
Hitomi. Yeah,
magazine.
the old Hitomi advertisement
Yeah.
that they were going around with. Yeah.
Yeah, and now it would be horrifying, but like back then, if you were to put let's say The Last of Us 2 on the box art with a lot of blood and gore, you have like an arrow coming out of the mouth of the main character or something like that, that would have gotten you canceled, right? So like, it's
pretty
literally
much.
in reverse. Like, now you can do that, but you can't do the other. And if you go back in time, it was the opposite. And I noticed the same with YouTube. Like back then, when YouTube first started, if you show like two girls kissing, you would have gotten a copyright strike. A content guideline strike. Like, you weren't allowed to show lesbians on YouTube at all.
Yeah, it was too spicy, too
It was
suggestive.
too spicy. But bum fights, that was fine,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Shock
so-
fights, bum fights.
Yeah. Now,
People hitting each other with cars. Everything was allowed in there.
Yeah, now if you have like 2 girls kissing on a live stream, and as long as it's not like intense kissing, you know, they're just kissing each other like for a couple of seconds, right? Like that's fine. Back then it would have gotten you banned, but now it's fine. And if you show bomb fights, your channel is removed. Like there's
Man, if you show a fail video without putting "no one was hurt in this video," like you can get a strike. It's actually kind of weird. But
well,
like as far as like ultra violence in video games go, like keep in mind how little noise came out when just like the last iteration of Doom came out. Not the current medieval one that just came out, but just before the super ultra violent one. And even with the new Mortal Kombat, like no one really raised an eyebrow at these things, but everyone right now is freaking out about how peachy people's butts are in your PS4 game.
Have you played Manhunt?
Manhunt, of course I played Manhunt.
Right, so that's made by Rockstar, right? It's the company that made GTA.
Hell yeah.
So like the story in Manhunt is that you're a serial killer that is supposed to be executed, but you're rescued by this insanely rich guy, which has a snuff fetish. Like he likes making porn videos with decapitations and shit, and he puts you in a place where you gotta hide and escape from his goons that are trying to kill you. And he's got like an earpiece in your head, and he like spanks it while you murder people and shit. Like it's one of the most violent video games ever made, and it's made by Rocksteady, like the same company that made GTA. Like it's a AAA publisher. This is not some fringe stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, Rockstar, not Rocksteady.
Rockstar, sorry, my bad. I keep confusing.
Yeah, and I mean Rockstar peak creativity. Rockstar were willing to do anything, and then GTA 4 happened.
Yeah,
or GTA 5. Sorry.
GTA 5 happened. Yeah, well, now I was looking like when they were making a remake of GTA 4. They're like removing hookers and they're removing trans jokes.
I know.
And it's like, okay, so you're basically looking at a game that was so good that it went around the world. Like people in Africa heard about GTA. People in China know what GTA is, right?
Yep.
And you're saying, no, that was wrong. They did it wrong. It's even though it's been like 20 years, we're going to just remove the stuff that we think you're not allowed to see. We're still keeping all the fact that you play as a criminal and you're doing crime. Like that's fine.
If they take away Lamar's song when you're finished the intro, right? Like just goddamn,
I don't know the games by heart, but I do know.
Okay, well, there's one particular famous quote where he's basically going on about his haircut, and he says the N-word with a nice song at the end, right? And that they're gonna cut that stuff off for sure, but
probably
it's kind of weird when you think about it, right? Because GTA, if you play it end to end, they shit on everyone. They don't care who it is. Like they shit on straight people, they shit on white people, black people, Asian people, like Mexican people. They don't care. Everyone, they hate everyone in GTA because everyone's an asshole in GTA.
Exactly.
And now they're taking away one small subset of these jokes, but they're gonna keep all of the rest of that shit, right? So it's like who's pandering to who here?
So, moving on to a new topic, and this one was really impressive. So I'm into the American politics, right? And this comes on my desk, and I'm going to ask you to be quiet while I play it for the chat. I do not know who this is. It's not that important. It's what the person says. It's got 1.2 million views. It is one of the most fascinating things that I have ever heard on the internet.
All right, play it up.
But he ran into blackness, and he felt it.
Oh, you got it running?
He felt the heat.
Yeah.
The unconditional love, the masterpiece of the black woman, that only an amazing God can take an Indian and a Jamaican and create somebody in his image.
So I get what he's trying to say. I really do. I understand the spirituality of what he's saying.
Yeah, he's struggling. He's struggling to find the words. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, but like, okay. So for those of you who couldn't hear, Trump ran into the blackness. Like this is it, right? He ran into the blackness, and he felt it. He felt the warmth of the black woman, the masterpiece that God created, where he took a Jamaican and an Indian and made it into his image. So, I I was
That's
like,
a lot of words.
a lot of words, yeah. And I was like, I gotta show this to the chat. Like, this is, this is like,
Just the whole, just he ran into the blackness.
he
and
ran
I'm
into
sitting
the
here, it's like
blackness.
this sounds like a terrible line out of an unfinished draft of a fantasy novel or something.
To be fair, I can guarantee that he didn't have a PR team to write it. Like, it
No.
gives me that confidence that he's writing from the heart.
Given how little he was looking down at his notes, I think he was trying to wing that shit, and he just didn't know when to stop or how to stop. But like, yeah, that's just I don't know if he's communicating the message he thinks he's communicating.
I don't know, but like I love the fact. So you're talking about a black woman, and then you're saying he felt the warmth of it, and I'm like, he's taking the piss, isn't he? Like,
Yeah, it sounds like he's.
that is no fucking way.
That sounds like $5,000 for a short speech well spent.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it did get 1.2 million views. It went viral. I mean, mission accomplished, right?
I mean, they definitely got their impressions anyway.
Court of Maltese, hashtag bring back Hawken. Ooh, that was a good game.
Hawken, yeah.
Yeah. So also in This Week is Stupid, did you know that Dr. Disrespect came back?
Yeah. He was playing checkers.
No. You are playing checkers. He's playing chess.
Really? Because the angle of the actual picture is a little low for me, but.
Yeah. So I was like wondering, like I didn't expect that.
He came back so quick.
Yeah, he came back really quick. Like,
yeah,
like,
it's surprising. I guess he's confident that this is just gonna roll right off of him or something.
Like, let me explain something to Chad. This is not me defending Dr. Disrespect or anything like that. It's just that I've been on the internet for more than 20 years now. And I've seen a lot of shit to the point where I don't actually get that emotional invested anymore. All right? It doesn't mean that I don't care. It's just that it's very difficult to solicit an actual visceral reaction from me. So I can just sit aside and analyze this, like a very calm thing, like it's a video game or something, right? So when I was looking at Dr. Disrespect, I was wondering, like, if I was his PR team, what could I do to mitigate the damage, the colossal damage that he did? And I was thinking, like, okay, just take a break from the internet, preferably 1 year, and then you drop the mustache, you drop the haircut, you put on a shirt, and you call yourself Mr. Respect. And you come and just stream as if nothing happened, right? Like, that's what I would have said. But what he does is very interesting. I've never seen a content creator do this. He's rolling with it. He's playing the part. He's acting like the villain.
He's staying in character. This is the heel turn, right? If this was wrestling, right? This is the heel turn of Dr. Disrespect. Just like when Hollywood Hogan, right? Like, this is a whole other. This is the new story, the new era of Dr. Disrespect. But unfortunately, the chess versus checkers thing just. They didn't think that out. Like, the camera angle being one thing, but the fact that all someone has to say is like, well, this is the only way he can win a chess game is that if his opponent is playing checkers. It's not the fucking read that he's trying to put out. You're supposed to put out a champion's read when you're Dr. Disrespect. And this one here, it just feels like it feels like a media miss in this case.
I will give him this, okay? I will give him this. If he actually at some point sues anyone that accused him of doing bad shit.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I don't know if he will, because Discovery will be a bitch.
No, but like, imagine this, right? Imagine the alternative universe where he does sue. Discovery comes up. He does nothing illegal, right? Nothing like exactly what he said.
Man.
Like there's nothing there.
Then it's tantamount defamation, and he's gonna be millionaire. Right? Oh, well, I mean, he's already a millionaire.
Like
the guy's
that
gonna
is
make fucking millions.
That is like the only way that he can come up with this, where he is playing chess and all of us are playing checkers.
Yeah, if he knows something
like
that absolutely everyone else doesn't know, right? Yeah,
that is the only possible scenario in which his meme becomes true. People want me to pull up the picture. I'm trying to find it though, because I don't have it that handy. Dr. Disrespect, chess checkers. Man, nothing comes out. Let me check Dr. Disrespect's Twitter. The coordinating. Oh my fucking god, you are so fucking right. Holy shit, the angle. Oh my god.
It's weird. Your table, table side angle. You're not sitting angle. You're table side angle.
Yeah,
right?
that is. Oh, it's like I'm 12 again. It's like I'm 12 again, and I'm learning to play the game with Dr. Disrespect.
You know what I instantly thought as soon as I saw that? You know the Gary Kasparov meme where the kid is like in front of the chessboard and he's like, and now you're going to play against Kasparov, and the fucking Dark Souls music kicks up. I don't know why, but that immediately came to mind.
Oh, someone needs to meme that and have like, instead of chessboards, you got like Dr. Disrespect coming in and the kid starts crying. Like someone needs to meme that in.
It has to have the health bar on the bottom and everything.
It's gotta have the health bar. It's gotta be like Dr. Disrespect. It's gotta have like the kid, right? Like for those of you who don't know, I'll show you the video. Hold on. Actually, I can't show it with the song. I don't think I can show it at all. Actually.
Yeah, you can with the song. Yeah, you can. With the song.
No. It's copyrighted. I did it before.
Are you sure?
Yes. I had it on my channel. I know these things.
Well, fuck, man. I could swear I had other streams with that playing in the background.
I think like what happened is like usually when something goes this viral, like when something becomes such a meme, the company that made the game, in this case From Software or someone associated with it, they copyright strike the song so that they monetize the millions of views from the meme, right? But like for those of you who don't know, this is from a Russian television network. And you have like this kid, which is a grandmaster chess player. Like he's actually amazing.
Yeah, incredible chess player.
Yeah, and the presenter says like, "Oh, you're not going to play against me. You're going to play against the grandmaster of the Soviet Union, who won like a number of medals, and he has competed in all of these events, Antonia Sarkova." And then the guy comes up with the boss music, right? And the kid starts crying. So like, I want someone to make a meme of this with instead of Antoni Karpova or whatever his name is, just make it Dr. Disrespect. Like
yeah, just stick a Dr. Disrespect head on it. and a big walkout and everything. Holy shit, that would be too good. Too good.
No, like seriously, if there's like a way where Dr. Disrespect comes up and he shows logs and it's like, the Twitch admins, they're trying to get me because I support Donald Trump. But
yeah,
I will not play to their game. I'll just play along so that I can then sue Twitch and get out of their deal that they have put me in. You know, like if that's the case,
let them dig their own fucking grave kind of thing.
Yeah, if that's the case, then I will say, yeah, okay, he's actually playing chess. I mean.
Yeah, definitely. Like if he actually has a secret card or a secret move in the back, like in his back pocket that he can pull out, then yeah, he's definitely playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers here. But otherwise, the only thing he can do is bank on right now Mr. Beast taking more and more of the heat, and him just kind of sneaking in the line, like out of the limelight while he can. Because right now, Mr. Beast is taking 90% of the fucking flack as far as PDF file goes.
You know what he should do? You should collab with Mr. Beast's friend.
Holy shit, that would be radioactive.
Yeah, just start up a stream and collab with what is their name? Chris? Or like, well,
Good God.
Maybe they can play chess together.
Yeah, that would be something, man. You have Dr. Disrespect 7 chessboards versus 7 different streamers that accuse them. I would watch that.
And then Mr. Beast makes a video. I bought the most expensive chessboard for my 2 friends to play together. I bought the $1 million chessboard. So
yeah, 7 chessboards, 7 different kinds of marbles from 7 places around the world. One man plays them all. Like, holy shit, dude.
Oh my goodness.
It would be too good. I would watch that. I would legit watch that.
Who would win?
What's next on the line?
Who would win, Dr. Disrespect or Chris?
Good question. I mean, knowing Disrespect would sit down and he'd do a bit of research before going into the game, at least usually. So I'd at least give him the chance of at least understanding how to do a decent opener. But I don't know if Dr. Disrespect really played a lot of chess. And if you haven't played a lot of chess, you don't really know just the basic fundamentals, right? So I guess it really boils down to which one of those two is more nerdy.
Do you think one of them would open up with the cow move, or is that too much boobage for that.
The cow opening. I love it.
Yeah, like for those of you who don't know what the fuck we're talking about, we actually had this conversation offline. There's like this this guy that I never took seriously, Tyler League of Legends. What is his name?
Yeah, Tyler 1.
Tyler 1, right? So like you look at Tyler 1. Let me show a picture of Tyler 1. Yeah. And he doesn't really inspire into me. It's not of his fault, by the way, but like he doesn't really inspire into me the type of content creator that I would watch. He looks like like first of all he's on Twitch, so I'm going to assume he's a leftist. I'm sorry. It's just like it is what it is. It's the platform with the goat.
Most definitely not.
I don't care, but like look. Like my stereotypes are at 100%. Like sometimes they miss, okay? But it's Twitch. If you stream on Twitch, I will stigmatize you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is like, okay, so he looks like this loudmouth individual. All right, okay. So I'm not interested in him. And then I find out he picks up chess.
Yep.
I'm like, no fucking way. He picks up chess? Like, what does that mean? And then you find out he's actually now playing against other chess grandmasters. And I'm like, no fucking way. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, his climb, on one side, you have to understand that, anyone who spams enough games with a decent understanding of the game will climb an elo, right? Because a lot of people who hover around elo don't necessarily play the same amount of games. There's a certain growing attrition to it. But at the end of the day, when you actually look at him play against other people who are legitimately at that elo and have been for years, he's consistently beating them. So he's doing something right.
No, because in the beginning, I thought what you said. It's like, all right, well, if you look at the number of people that play any game, whether it's chess, whether it's League of Legends, doesn't matter. The overwhelming amount of people play casually, and they're going to be somewhere around gold elo. They're going to be like somewhere like medium based. But if you actually get invested into the game, which not that many people do, and you're actually trying to learn openers and you're trying to learn strategy, you get to climb a lot higher, right? So now you're diamond and you think you're hot shit. But the reality is, like, you are hot shit because other people just didn't put in the effort. Like, had they put the effort, they might have been better than you. So this guy gets all the way on top of the elo, and people are saying what you're saying. Well, he's just spamming games. He's just, like, playing a lot and he's researching, so that's why. But then he fucking breaks the wall, and now he's like in the top like 0.5% of the world, and he's still climbing.
Well, I wouldn't say he's still climbing, but he broke the top the top 8%. Yeah.
From my understanding, it's top 0.5 now. Like he
Is
climbed, yeah, like he climbed even harder. Like that's what bewilders people, right? The man isn't stopping. He just keeps climbing. And he picked up chess 2 years ago, right? And he goes on like a cheeky little shit and goes like, if you've been playing chess since you're 5 and you're not still high, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't think he could say uninstall the game, but it was like, just throw the chessboard away. You know?
Oh, no, he's definitely not in the top 0.5%. He's at 1900 rapid.
Okay, what does that mean?
He's in the top 5 to 10%.
Okay,
he was higher than 1900 before. He had hit 2100, but he's dropped back down to 1900. So his elo is normalizing.
So what is 2100? Like how much?
Easily in the realm of like pre-grandmaster. Like think of it, if it was like League of Legends, it would be like hitting like after Diamond, or at least in the elos that used to exist when I used to play. After Diamond, you had Challenger.
Yeah.
And then after Challenger, you had another rank, but it would be like the first entry level of Challenger. It would be around 2100 elo.
So it's pretty astonishing anyway.
It's fucking fantastic.
It's like a guy that doesn't play chess, just picks up chess, and in 2 years he manages to accomplish something.
It's like, it's the equivalent of Diluk the Hitman shooting his silver in the Olympics using double eye open, right? It's a guy that just walks out of nowhere, walks into probably one of the biggest arenas in the world, and walks out with a silver. It's fucking impressive.
So the thing that's even more impressive is that he actually uses a starting move called the cow. Apparently the cow is made by a female grandmaster chess player. Like, she made the move, and she called it the cow. So now that woman is challenging Tyler for a game.
We'll see who has the best cow in chess.
Well, the thing with the cow, apparently, is that it delays your movement. So you actually get to play a reactive game rather than an active game. And many professional chess players don't like playing like that because, like, having the advantage is what they consider is better, right? Like putting your opponent...
center control. You want aggressive center control, generally. Yeah.
And the cow move does literally the opposite. It, like, allows your opponent to be aggressive, and you just react to their mistakes. And this is how Tyler likes to play.
Yeah, ideally, when you're playing cow, you want to force the person into setting up their perfect line, and then in their impatience for you getting into your position, they move one of their things out of order, right? Like they make a critical mistake, because eventually, you in chess you can set up a perfect wall, but you're still gonna have to move a piece eventually, right? So you can't stay static forever.
Thank you, Thomas, for the 10 Polish zloty, and Zloty, yeah. So what did the cow do? Because I interrupted you. I thought that you were finished then.
No, go ahead. It's all right.
Okay. Yeah, so the thing that is funny is that, like, he was playing League of Legends, and this is how I saw it, that it's like he's getting annoyed about a teammate, calling the teammate retarded and all the other language. And then he's like, fuck it, I'm going to play chess. I'm going to play chess. And I thought he was trolling, but, like, no, he actually did play chess.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he can't... it's like one time he said on the stream, right? He can't blame. There are no teammates to blame. There's only him.
Yeah, this is why I also like playing fighting games, and why I like 1v1, which, unfortunately, there aren't that many 1v1 games that are coming out. Like, everything is team-based, and I find it cancer.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like, in a 1v1 game, you can't blame anyone but yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile... in a team-based game, you play League of Legends, and you know you jungle like a god, and you know you're legendary, and you still lose because your teammates are retarded. And it's like...
Yeah, because like one guy in bottom lane decided to to go after one minion too many out of position, gets fucking 2-1, and then they wonder, oh, no jungle support.
Do you think Tyler would be dark disrespect at chess though?
Definitely.
Right.
Having watched Tyler play enough, Tyler has incredible patience when he's playing chess. He can hold the position as long as he needs to make his move. Dr. Disrespect, the last time I saw him play chess, didn't. So that's when you're playing chess, a lot of it is waiting your opponent out. So I would think in a like face-to-face, like both people had the same amount of time to prepare, I think Lol Tyler 1 would come out on top.
Alright, did we actually discuss the Olympics? Because I wasn't here with you when the Olympics came out.
I haven't discussed it with you.
You haven't, right. So, there is this friend of ours, Short Fat Otaku, which contributed a lot to the conversation of the Olympics. You see, the opening ceremony, I'm pretty sure you have heard of it.
Yeah.
But some people...
I have a shared French shame of it. God fucking damn.
Yeah, some people think that it's a mockery to the Last Supper with all of the drag queens there and a man having a huge ball sack next to what appears to be a Chinese child. But yeah, I think it was a wardrobe malfunction. I don't know if they did it on purpose. But like if they did do it on purpose, how do you prove it?
I mean, I'm going to be blunt with you. You take a look at what the guy was wearing. That wasn't a wardrobe malfunction. That shit was there on purpose, right? They would have had to, like, the amount of work that would have had to have happened for that to become a wardrobe malfunction when there's no damage to the outfit at all. No fucking way, man. That was blatant and on purpose.
Because I'm pointing it out that this isn't just like some random guys going together and taking a picture. This is involving hundreds, if not thousands of people that have to greenlight the wardrobes, that design the wardrobe, design the costumes, design where everyone is standing.
The choreography, the outfits, the symbology, the lighting, everything has to be signed off, and it's supposed to be double checked for all of this weird innuendo and socially acceptable bullshit. Like this thing was vetted before it was put on screen, and they still came out with that bullshit.
Yeah. To be fair, it's hard to see, but like a lot of people did notice it. Like you have this.
Yeah, but it goes beyond the ball sack nonsense, right? Take a look at like the whole presentation, right? The whole entry ceremony.
Yeah.
Right. Take a look at how much of it actually looked like it was decent. Like you compare it to Beijing.
Yeah, Beijing
right?
was 100% decent.
Like and look at the spectacle right? It was awe-inspiring. That's the fucking Olympics. You're supposed to put out a statement, and then you look at this basically this Hershey squirt in a diaper that was the French exposition.
Right?
Yeah,
it was like Ubisoft made the Olympics.
Yeah, it really does feel like it. Like when you take a look at it, you take a look at the outfits, the faces, the venue, the presentations, even the artistry of it. All of it was just like there was nothing French about it.
Yeah,
it just sucked.
Or maybe
sucked.
it was too French, because it's the only French thing that I actually argued with Christians was the Gojira song. Because okay, so you got Marie Antoinette decapitated, and you have like the French Revolution that's bloody, it's gory, and you have like the blood of the aristocracy coming from within that that palace. That was French. I'm sorry, like if you think it wasn't French, study French history.
Yeah,
that was like the
French.
most nationalistic thing that they ever had in the entire Olympics. That and the athletes puking because they drank the cyan.
The
cyan. But I want to go back to what Dev said. Dev is like, no, this is not the Last Supper. This is Dionysus.
Yeah, it's a Dionysian.
Dionysius. And I'm like, do you have no skepticism in your fucking brain? Like just because the person is feeding you the bullshit and you catch them going into a Holocaust museum with a swastika, and when the guards are coming, it's like, well, it's not a swastika, it's a manji. I bet you feel pretty stupid now, huh? I bet you feel pretty uneducated now. See? The swastika is the other way around, but this is a manji. I had no idea you would get upset. Why are you reacting like this? Are you insane?
And here's the worst part, right?
Yeah.
The image that they're associating with the whole Dionysian thing doesn't even have the same setup. First of all, the Dionysian image that they're trying to reference to, the person in the middle is not standing behind a table. Right? They're standing on top of a lifted chair that's being drawn by animals.
But even then, like if their argument is like, we weren't trying to take the piss of this work of art, we were trying to take the piss of the other work of art. Like, why are you trying to take the piss? It's the fucking Olympics. Like, what? It's not the place to take the piss on anything.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, the setup that they had mimicked way more of the Last Supper than it did anything of the Dionysian. What is it? The Bacchanalia, whatever they're called. They're the big array of all of the Bacchus / Dionysius shit.
Yeah, but take into account that most of the people that were involved in the production, they thought it's the Last Supper.
Yeah,
like the actors themselves were saying, no, this is the Last Supper, and it begs the question, like, why even fucking do it? Like, it's the Olympics for everyone, right?
Well, here, and just to be clear here, right? Yeah, it has to be the Last Supper, because even when they announced it here, I watched it on Canadian television, and then I watched the international stream, right? The CBC here said that it was the Last Supper.
Yeah.
And then on the international stream, which was coming out of fucking, what is it? It was it's a pirate stream of Sky. And they too said that it was the fucking Last Supper. So who's making the bullshit here? This is just gaslighting nonsense, man.
Well, it's apparently the person that's responsible for making it. And they came out and they said, oh, yeah, like, it wasn't the Last Supper, you guys. You're just fucking uneducated. It was actually... And I'm like...
Fuck's sakes, man.
And I'm like, okay, well, I guess if Dev would have a kid, he would run miles around him. It's like, oh, I didn't eat the cookie jar. I didn't eat the cookie from the jar, Dad. It's like someone came to our house and gave me a cookie while you were gone. And
in all actuality, I didn't reach into the cookie jar. Just happened to roll onto its side, and a cookie fell out. So I didn't actually take the cookie as much as retrieved it from the top of the counter. Like, yeah.
Yeah, do you have proof? Do you have any evidence that was you did?
I want the DNA sample.
Yeah. So apparently the lady in the middle, well, actually,
the DJ.
She calls herself like, I'm not even making it up. Like, she calls herself fat, Jewish, and I think like a couple of other, I think lesbian, and she's proud of her identities. Like that's what she said. I'm not putting words in her mouth, right? Like, she comes out and she says like, I'm fat, I'm Jewish, I'm a lesbian, I'm proud of all these identities, and I'm like, well, wow, good for you.
Yeah, I mean, if she wants to be proud about herself, that's fine. That's between her
like,
and her body and her God.
Yeah, it's just like, it's interesting that she's not proud of being an actress, like something that you actually work on to achieve, but like, okay, like these were the cards you were dealt with and you're very proud of them. Okay, fine.
That's right.
But she's now going to sue everybody. So
Oh yeah, that's the sign of a well-adjusted mind. Sue everyone.
yeah, so everyone, she doesn't like the misogyny. There was like, hold on, there was a word that I actually promised I'm going to use. It was a phobia. I need to check it out.
I know what it is.
What is it? What is it? What is it?
Grossophobia.
Grossophobia. Oh, grossophobia.
When the title calls out the person directly.
It's like, wow. So like, okay, the English language has grown today. A new word has been revealed.
I read that shit that drips of GPT. Like, they told GPT to come up with something to qualify it all. Having played with GPT and like auto text gen enough, that shit has to be
Man,
a GPT.
You obviously haven't fucked the AI recently, because the new models of GPT would not write such garbage. Like, unless she's using like 3.5, like she's using a vintage edition. There is no way that GPT would use grossophobia.
Oh man,
that requires brain damage.
I'm telling you, if the brain damage use an AI, right? The AI is going to spit out brain damage shit. That's just, variable goes in, shit comes out. That's just how it is. But the whole grossophobia thing, like, to be able to sit there and say, you're afraid of that which is gross. And it's like, well, I mean, we're not afraid of it, but we'd rather not see it in public fucking media. Like, if you want to get to the point where you're saying your people are grossophobic, what the fuck are you touting that they're like? You're literally saying that what they're protesting against is gross.
Yes. No, but like, see, the thing with grossness is that it's actually a natural evolution reaction that humans have so that you don't get sick. Like, if you see a carcass, right? Even if you're hungry, you don't want to eat it because it's revulsive, right? Like, it tells you to stay away. Now, other animals don't have that, right? Like flies, for instance, they love carcasses, right? So it's like, it's a natural adaptation for humans to stay away from stuff that's gross for our own health and safety. So, like, to say that, well, it's a phobia, I don't think it's irrational. I think there's a purpose to it.
Maybe. I just find that trying to attach this phobia term on everything normalizes the expectation of shit that we shouldn't accept, right?
Oh, this is actually
just because people don't accept something doesn't mean they're afraid of it. It just means that they're willing to talk out against it, right? It's so weird.
But like, here's what's fascinating. Christopher Keating, for €10, the painting from Bilgert in Dijon has an explanation underneath. The painter intended to paint the Last Supper, but the Protestant Dutch didn't want paintings of Jesus, so he made the pagan version.
Of course, yeah.
So
actually, a lot of paintings.
Even the Dionysus painting is still a reference to the Last Supper. Yeah,
the whole Baccalaurean or Baccalaurean. I don't really know how to pronounce it because I'm French and retarded.
Bacchus.
But the whole Bacchus-ish stuff. Yeah. A lot of that stuff was done because back in the day, the Holy See wouldn't allow depictions of like Jesus or whatnot unless they met a very specific and certain standard. So a lot of people instead just relied on the old Roman take on the I was about to say German, their old Roman take on the Greek gods that they had like kind of imported from way back when.
This would have been a great idea if they wouldn't allow any paintings of Jesus, because then you wouldn't have the Democrats go like, but Jesus wasn't white, because we actually know, we've been there, and he was brown. He didn't look like Bashar al-Assad, for fuck's sakes. Bashar al-Assad isn't blonde.
Jesus is Aramaic. Good God.
It's like, I mean, I'm actually thinking about it, and it's like, okay, well, if he came from Syria, Bashar al-Assad is from Syria, like, why couldn't he be white? Like, it's not like, de facto, like, you generally don't know, right?
Yeah, like, it's the whole entire region is the Caucasus region, for the love of God. Like, that incorporates an absolute fucking unfathomable amount of people.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit,
I'm not saying he was white either, but, like, to be this autistically triggered, it's just weird. Like when you go to Japan and you see the Japanese pictures of Jesus, right? And he's got like the Japanese type eyes, the phenotype. No one cares. Like, I haven't seen Christians complain. It's like, well, actually, this is not Jesus.
Well, I mean, there's one easy way to put it, right? Jesus is as black as Cleopatra was.
Oof, you're going to upset
That's
the
all. That's all you
Egyptian-
have to say,
You're
right?
going to you're going to upset the Egyptian government again. You're going to get them to go after Netflix.
No, but it's to say, right? Like
Yeah.
the whole thing is that first of all, we know what they look like. There's been enough historic depictions over centuries and centuries and centuries. We know where the history is. So why is this only being contested now? I don't know, it's just stupid nonsense, man.
Yeah. So anyway, she wants to sue the internet because she's getting mean words on Twitter, and I'm thinking like, why
Of
isn't
course.
she suing the people that hired her because they knew she will get mean words on Twitter?
I don't know. Even with that, did you listen to what she put out as her set? Well, or at least what they pre-recorded or pre-sampled and then pretended like she was dipping around on her DJ booth that was not connected to anything.
Where she goes, "Ah, la, 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 la," like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Like they definitely didn't hire her for her competence. They didn't hire her for her music skill. So what were they putting up there? Right? What were they exposing? What was the intent of putting her up there in front of everyone?
Maybe they like boobs.
There was certainly a lot of
There are the only boobs on the set. Did you notice that there was
endless tracks of land.
Did you
Endless
notice,
tracks of land.
Did you notice that there was nothing heteronormative in that Olympic opening at all?
Not a fucking thing.
Not a fucking
thing.
titillating thing. Now, if you are a gay guy, or if you are like a transgender person that is into drag, oh my goodness, like fan service galore. Like everything was fan service, but
I don't know, man.
Democrats are so weird phobic lately. Did you notice the PR campaign with weird?
The weird thing? I mean, yeah.
No, they're using the word weird a lot. I mean, a lot. In various different...
That's not good. The last person I heard use the word weird was what's her face, Rachel Ziegler, when she was going on about
Ziegler.
Yeah, Ziegler.
Ziegler.
Weird. That's about as far as it goes.
They're
for me.
basically saying that that JD Vance is weird, right? Now, given the fact that JD Vance does believe in a lot of conservative values, I can see why liberals wouldn't agree with that. But like nothing that JD Vance believes would be weird 20 years ago. Now, what's weird?
No,
is...
it's not about what he believes; it's what he communicates, and the fact that his behavior sometimes is just absolutely fucking bizarre. Like, I mean, I guess people would like the first thing they'd point out is like, why is he wearing eyeliner in multiple of his videos?
No, sure, but like,
right?
well, you know,
I guess that's where they're trying to fixate on that weird shit, but I don't know.
No, they're like,
I don't understand the weird campaign.
Oh, they were like the views on abortions that he has is weird. The views on immigration that he has is weird, and I'm like, okay.
Is he?
No, I mean that doesn't apply. But like, here's the thing: it reminds me of like high school girls that use the word weird as in, you know, you're not part of the clique.
Oh yeah. You're on the outside.
Yeah,
but
you're on
like
the outside. Yeah.
I mean, GD Vance's shit isn't particularly stunning. Like there's some bizarre points here and there, I guess.
Like Trump,
but I mean, what politician doesn't have a bizarre point here and there? But in general, his views on abortion and shit are the same that it's always been 20 years ago.
Yeah,
so it doesn't strike me as weird in particular.
No, that's the thing. Like, because like on one hand, you have boot sex in the Senate, you have la cocaína in the White House.
Yeah, let's not even start about that.
You got big fat transgender boobies in front of the White House as well, with the LGBT flag in the middle instead of the American flag. You got that energy person that stole underwear from an airport. Right? So I'm not saying that JD Vance isn't weird. I'm pretty sure maybe he is.
There's some other qualifications for weird that probably match here, right?
It's just a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna call something weird, call the bigger shit weird first.
Well, you know
right? Work your way down.
You know what's weird? I'll actually say, because I know you're not Team Trump, which is fine. But like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have my objections to Trump's policies just as much as I have a bunch of objections to Biden's policies.
Yeah,
so I'm more of a centrist than anything.
Yeah, but like you're capable of analyzing things, and tell me, how does this make sense, or if it's weird? You got Kamala Harris, right? And for the last 3 years, she's considered to be like the lowest polling vice president in the history of the United States since polling happened. Like maybe there were other vice presidents worse.
Like even myself, when Kamala was first selected as VP, I was convinced that it was going to torpedo Biden because her track record pre-VP nomination was fucking abysmal, man.
Yeah, it was like the only person that wanted to take the job. That was the vibe that I was getting, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, you go from that, and then in a couple of days, without her unveiling some new master plan of fixing the economy, without having like any interesting political takes, without winning a single debate, without announcing a vice president, she's now like a rock star. Like now she's like almost as close.
No policies, no plan, no budgeting. We have no idea what she's going to be fighting for. Like, no one has heard sweet fuck all about what she's actually standing for.
And yet, polling numbers show that she's as close as the guy that survived an assassination attempt with the best photo op in human history. And how is that not weird?
Now that I admit, that fucking weird.
That is so fucking weird, isn't it? And
it is. It's definitely weird. I mean, when we look at it on anyway, you know where I do some of my side work, right? When we take a look at that shit and those numbers pop up, it's just like, where the fuck did this come from, man? Completely out of right field.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. And then you also have the vice president that she picked.
Mm-hmm.
That is weird.
Was it made official? Was it really him?
So no, we don't know yet. People are coping. Like, for those of you who don't know, there is a leak from one of the Democrat mayors, which apparently released a video before it was supposed to release, and it says that her vice president pick is going to be Shapiro from Pennsylvania. I think it's the governor.
Josh Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro, right? Now some Wikipedia is already cleaning him up because apparently he volunteered for the IDF, and a lot of left-wing people don't appreciate that very much. So, the Jannies from Wikipedia are working overnight. They're burning the midnight oil trying to clean up his Wikipedia page.
I mean, even with that, what have we heard of this guy? I mean, I'm not an American citizen, but I follow American politics closely because I'm fucking hired to. But
what
who
people
is
said,
this guy?
Okay,
right?
well, he's the governor of Pennsylvania, so like he must.
I
be
know,
someone,
but he
right?
hasn't put out anything VP or presidential worthy as far as legislations or motions or participation in major committees or anything like that.
Kamala fucking Harris, and she's the current VP.
I know. Well, I mean, just the whole Harris thing. I mean, people completely forget I'm going to use the word weird again. The whole friggin' completely bizarre time that she had as a prosecutor, right? There were a lot of very concerning allegations of misuse of evidence and refusing to recuse herself for certain types of things due to conflict of interest. Like, there's a lot of bizarre background shit that would cause a little bit of an ethics concern when we're talking about her prosecutorial conduct. Goddamn words.
Yeah.
But suddenly she's on top of the pile, polling 7 points ahead of Trump according to ISPUS and all of the other polls and shit. And it's really we're talking about a tidal wave with no earthquake. Out of nowhere,
I mean,
right?
Okay.
Just a rogue wave.
Yeah, no, it's true. But the reason people are saying they chose this vice president, if she actually chose it, we're going to find out on Monday. But number one, a lot of leftists are concerned. Sorry, a lot of Jewish people, Jewish PACs and NGOs, they're concerned with what the Democrats are going through right now because a lot of them, their base seems to be pro-Hamas, right?
The Palestinian/Israel question is becoming more and more volatile every day.
Yeah, so basically it's like, okay, well, let's choose a Jewish guy and choose him from Pennsylvania because in Pennsylvania, it's a swing state and Trump can't win without Pennsylvania. So maybe they're hoping to get more votes from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, there's going to be Pennsylvania, Ohio, and I think Maryland are going to be the big swing states that they're going to be concerned about, but we never know until the actual primary starts, or whatever they call the first phase.
But speaking of weird, right? You got President Joe Biden that's basically saying, yeah, I'm going to run. And his staffers, imagine being Joe Biden's staffer, right? And I'm a donor. Yeah. I'm a big fat donor. And I come to you, Ors, and I'm like, Ors, I think the man is dropping out. After the debate, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, listen. On my honor, on my reputation, I spoke with the man this morning. He is running for president. And then
suddenly he drops out.
Yeah, no, it's not even that. Someone comes up into your ear and it's like, check Twitter now. Go on Twitter. And you're going on Twitter and you're like, what the fuck? You know, like his staffers found out that he's dropping out from Twitter, and in the morning he actually tweeted out that he's still in the race, and then at dusk he's dropping out, and his staffers don't know about it. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But like, okay, fine. Doesn't do it in a public announcement. Like, this is the equivalent of your wife that has been with you for the last decade, dumping you on a text message.
Yeah, pretty much. But from the outside perspective, they saw how bad. Like you can poll as many ways as you want, right? So let me rewind the cassette a bit here because I'm going to dive into a rabbit hole regarding how polls work vis-a-vis how people are in age categories. You got to remember that when these public polls are taken, right? Most of the people who answer these polls are boomers or boomer adjacent, right? Because most kids and shit, they aren't going to stop like side by side on a poll, or they're not going to necessarily answer a fucking spam
That's true.
email,
Yeah, I always walk
right?
past them. Yeah.
Now, the other side of that is that we hear everything about the polls on the public media and shit because that's what the reporting cycle really brings out.
Yeah.
In the background, though, there's a whole other numbers game that comes up to social media because that's how you really target the middle ground to the younger generation. Biden polled nothing. He had no fucking momentum, right, at all.
Yeah, but Kamala does.
So Kamala, Kamala definitely has a lot more momentum because of the racial question. All right, it's the same thing.
Is this
like
why
when
the media is livid when people doubt her racial heritage?
Yes, absolutely.
So this
the
is
same
why,
reason.
like,
What is the same reason why the media was livid when people were doubting when we're saying Obama's birth certificate? It's the same level of livid.
Like one disqualifies a person from running, the other one is just like, okay, well, you're like Pocahontas.
Oh,
like
I know, but
you know?
it doesn't matter, right? The disqualification question is its own thing. The idea is on the media side, you question the legitimacy, not the disqualification. You're just supposed to attack the legitimacy because if you do the disqualification without actual proof, then that becomes in this case it would be slander, not libel, but slander.
Nice.
So you have to play a very, very little and thin gray zone when you're doing political hit shit like this. You can't just
like,
say anything and everyone.
I get it. But like, moving past the way Joe Biden steps down, right? What's interesting is he steps down after the primary, so now you can't actually get a Bernie Sanders in. Like, maybe someone wanted AOC, and I don't fucking know. You know, like maybe some Democrats wanted to vote for literally anyone else than Kamala. They don't get to do that
possibly.
now.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole song and dance and show of like the Democratic National Convention and all of that shit, it's just a song and dance. At the end of the day, they're going to front whichever candidate they choose to front.
No, I get it. But like the thing is, like the Republicans, I don't think they do that. Like the Republicans probably didn't want Trump. I think they wanted DeSantis. But anyway, that's
I would say, I mean, even myself as not being a Trump fan, I think Trump has a much better chance than DeSantis of winning any day.
Maybe. But like my point
Much
is
better,
that I think like the process is a little bit more legitimate with the RNC than with the DNC.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's a more direct to the person voting system in the GOP primaries than there are in the DNC. That I do agree.
So like, let me finish. The thing with Kamala is like, I don't think she has even a single electorate vouching for her. Like the whole thing was done virtual, like on a virtual meeting. No transparency. And, you know, this is the party that wants to preserve democracy. Like, this is their main selling point, because they don't talk anything about the economy. They don't talk anything about, foreign policy. They're only talking, it's like, oh, if Trump wins, democracy is over. And it's just, like, the most bureaucratic thing that I have ever seen. Like, the most bureaucratic managed, quote-unquote, democracy up until this point, where you're just basically told, oh, she's popular, look at the polls. Oh, look at the stadium she's getting. Don't mind the fact that there's another superstar that's coming in to have a sing. I think it was like a rap star or someone that came in there and took the stage. And from the outside, like, I'm from Romania, I got no horse in the race, but like, I'm looking at what Trump is doing with the black people, the black voters. And he's like, okay, I got a team of black businessmen, and they're all sitting at the table. They're dressed in ties. It's like, all right, what are your grievances? It's like, well, the environmentalist agenda is making it difficult for us to run business. It's very crippling, the taxes, blah, blah, blah. And Trump is like, okay, we'll fix it. Now, I don't know if he will, because, you know, it's like the art of the deal, the big ask, the big promise. Maybe he won't fulfill it. I don't know. But when you look at Kamala, what does she do? She gets a black person on stage to twerk. Right? like, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, I can't keep a straight face just remembering that shit. I can't. Anyway.
What the fuck?
I'm glad I'm not a U.S. citizen.
You're Canadian, don't get me started. started with Canada. But yeah.
Holy shit.
Thomas Kami, still haven't seen him alive. Yeah, like it got to the point where a lot of people didn't believe that Joe Biden is Joe Biden. And to be honest, the way he climbed up those stairs, I was like, could it be a body double? Because I know Kim Jong-un had a couple, and I know Saddam Hussein had a couple. Like, there's no reason why US presidents wouldn't have body doubles. But like a lot of people were questioning that there was like a height difference at some point. Do you think that Joe Biden has a body double, or?
I would say the chances are extremely high.
Extremely high, right?
Yeah, especially at his age, he can't be everywhere. He's gonna. I mean, imagine, think of his age. How many health issues does an average person of his age have? How much energy? Like, I don't know if you realize most people his age have a hard time staying awake for more than 6 hours at a time. Right?
I
so
also
personally,
thought,
I think he definitely has a body double.
Yeah, and my point was it's not illegal.
No, it's not illegal.
Like,
I mean, as long as the body double isn't standing in for any official like key turns or anything like that.
Yeah, like if the body double doesn't sign any official documents or anything like that, then it's not illegal. So it is possible, and I think like many world leaders do. I think like having a body double for Trump would probably be more difficult because he's got like that specific voice and you got the mannerisms. But like with Joe Biden, you just have to move around very slowly, and that's it.
Yeah, Trump has a harder body shape to emulate.
Yeah.
Biden has a pretty standard build. All you gotta do is slap in a kind of like thin looking wig on his head, and you know you can probably pass at it. But Trump would be harder. He has a very specific way he walks. He has a specific way he presents himself. Like you can imitate, but it's hard to duplicate.
But I know for sure that we have seen Biden because a lot of people say they haven't seen him, and I will tell you when. Recently, America did an exchange of prisoners.
Yeah. He is indeed alive. He is indeed alive.
Okay, so they're having the airplane from where the prisoners get down, and to everyone dismayed, like you can look at Kamala's face and you can see the horror and dismay. Joe Biden goes into the airplane where the prisoners came out from. He stays a little bit inside, and then he comes back out, and no one knows why. It's like, did he thought that he's going to take off? Like, again, like, you got the prisoner transfer airplane, right, which brought in the prisoners, and it lands at the airport, right? And you're sitting in front of the plane. Why would you go in? There's no reason, right? Like, the pilot isn't even there. Like, they did their job. They carried the cargo.
Confusion.
Yeah, so, like,
that's the only reason. Like, why would you climb up all of those steps? I mean, unless he was, like, his brain was on autopilot, and he's like, time to go into Air Force One. I mean, thank God the Russians didn't fuck off and take off with him still in the plane or whatever. Exactly. That would have caused quite an incident.
like, imagine if I come to visit you, and I bring a limousine, right? Like, someone brings me with a limousine, and I get off, and as I'm, like, shaking hands with you, you're going into my limousine. Like, why would you do that?
I mean, steal a drink of gin, or I don't know, man. Maybe you got an open bar, a fully stocked bar inside your limo, and I don't.
Have you been in a limousine before? Have you actually?
Yeah, lots of times.
Jesus fucking Christ, how important are you? What is it like in a limousine? Is it actually...
Depends on the kind of limousine, because the limousines come in a lot of shapes, man. But generally speaking, if you're getting picked up in an actual limo, like say like my last... Okay, so I'll tell you about my last episode in one. It was working for Roche in San Francisco. They picked me up from the actual airport in a town car limo, enough for 6 people. And in the back, you have like you're sitting in the big booth seat in the back, and then in the front you have another 3 seats, and then to the left and to the right you have 2 snap-out bars, little specialized bars that are made to go inside those cars. And on one side you have gin and everything you need to do for a gin and tonic, and on the other side is all sorts of whiskeys and like straight bourbons and Kentucky bourbons and shit like that. So yeah, I mean, I had a gin while I was going over to the campus. So how is it like?
Is it actually fun to be in a limousine, or is it just overrated?
It's fucking comfortable. I mean, I'm glad I'm not paying for it, but I mean, it's white glove service. Like you arrive from the airport. You don't even have to go to the luggage place. The guys already got your luggage off the luggage rack, and they have a little digital sign with your name on it. They lead you to the limousine. They open the door for you. You get in. Everything is put into the trunk for you. You don't have to touch a fucking thing. They close the door behind you, and you sit in the most luxurious, plush, non-genuine leather like seat, like actual leather, not this genuine bonded shit. but actual real leather, and you just kind of sink into it. And the whole car inside is completely silent. You're isolated from all of the peasants around you and all of that shit.
Is this Blizzard employee park?
No, this was Roche. Roche is a pharmaceutical company.
No, you didn't get the joke. It's like Blizzard employee perk, because they actually did have that back in the day when their company was successful.
Really?
Yeah. They went
Fuck,
to
I
strip
didn't
clubs
know.
and hookers,
I mean,
yeah.
God damn, the joke went whoosh completely over my head. Jesus, I feel bad now.
Yeah, no, it's like I wonder how it's like to drive one of those things. I bet it's pretty fucking annoying. It's probably like driving a bus, right?
Well, the town car wasn't super, like, it's not one of those super long limos, right? Like, not like a movie limo. So it's like a limousine car. But, I mean, it's like driving a Rolls Royce. It's a big beast of a car, but it probably, like, you're probably driving, like, smooth caramel. Like, the fucking thing is, I mean, it's got the best suspension. It's got the best steering, like,
Yeah, because
pinion.
you don't want the gin and tonic to go all over the place, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the best part is the people who are trained to drive it, they're trained not to jerk the car around. They know how to take smooth turns and all of that shit. So you can literally just kind of sit back and have a silky smooth ride.
So let's talk about the spicy stuff before we finish. There's something.
All right, hit it.
There's something brewing in the UK. I don't know if you're aware of it, but there was a really nasty stabbing where kids got.
Oh
stabbed.
yeah, the kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think like three
This
kids
is-
passed
Man, this
away.
is not far after that. They just had a bunch of issues. I think it was in Ireland.
Yeah. So what happens is that people are holding a vigil, and then you got another person with a machete going to the vigil. Now those were stopped by the cops, but apparently it was too late because like people were really pissed off, right? So it kicks off, and apparently the government is saying that it kicks off because of social media, because people said that the guy that did the stabbing came from a boat, but he didn't came from a boat. He actually was born in Britain, and this changes everything, you know?
It changes everything, all right.
It changes
Person
everything.
that just stabbed. Come on.
So like
Kids
what?
are dead, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, so basically the Prime Minister has a public address, and instead of, like, trying to alleviate the concerns of the public, which would be like, all right, well, we're going to get to the bottom of this, we're going to make sure that this doesn't happen, like, at least something. He goes, it's like, oh, those far-right agitators, we need more facial recognition, we need social media to start censoring, we need this and this and that. We need to make sure that people don't get to board on trains to travel anymore. And I'm like,
What the fuck, man?
I'm like, what the? So, obviously, I mean, as no one could have predicted, the next day, riots almost everywhere in major cities.
Of course. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you ask Mike Savage right there in the chat, right, I see he's got the right flag and everything, but like, I was watching Countdown, like I follow Count Dankula a lot, and I was watching his posts regarding the stabbings that happened just a couple of months ago now, and now we have the new stabbings here in the UK, right? Like at the end of the day, something's got to be done about it. Like this knife crime shit, and like these rando people getting stabbed for no fucking reason keeps happening at an increasing frequency, and it's kind of getting crazy.
So basically, what we have now are Muslim gangs armed with machete and wire cutters. Running into the far right. So you have like street fights between two communities with the cops sitting with their thumbs up their ass. But there's also videos with the cops going door to door arresting people. Like there's a video where they go into the house of a woman. I don't know what she did, but she must have done something pretty fucking serious to like again like
for
like,
police to enter your home in the UK, you usually have to do something pretty serious.
Yeah, so they're basically like looking on social media and arresting the people to the reaction rather than like having a plan on how to do with the actual action that took place, which is like kids not feeling safe. I mean, I can't think of any society on the face of the earth that wouldn't have a reaction if you have like kids getting stabbed. It's like,
damn right.
And usually what happens in most countries, you got a president or a politician coming up and say, well, this is a very dark event for our nation's history, and thoughts and prayers. Like even if they don't do anything about it, even if they don't mean it, they at least try to sympathize with the people, right? Like they're trying to offer some understanding to the community. They don't go around and it's like, That was a perfect opportunity for facial recognition. Haha, like making sure that you guys don't get to travel, and then make sure that
the
you guys...
whole that whole security ratcheting is going to happen. They're going to use that as an excuse any day. But the thing that really pisses me off about it is that, like, in this latest event, right, when, like, you brought it up, right? It's like, oh well, this one, it wasn't from the boat. He was actually a UK citizen. Man, who the fuck cares, right? This is about more than knives, right? Just the fact that the latest guy wasn't from a boat, they're going to try to use that to invalidate the fact that a lot of the previous problems were caused directly by like people who came through the immigration system, most of them illegal.
Well, you know,
right?
the question
Like at
is...
one point or another, it has to be recognized that the frequency of crime goes up because of the people who are coming in.
Yeah, I mean, the question remains, is like, how much immigration is it going to happen? Like, what is it going to be like? Okay, well, we got enough. Let's assimilate the ones we have. But like, it doesn't seem to be like that. Like, if the question is, should we bring in the entire Middle East? The answer from the British politicians seems to be yes. All of them.
Jesus.
Every single one. No, because now that we're talking about... and this is like something that the activists wanted to do for a long time. The argument was that there's no more room, right? Like, you look at London and the infrastructure is strained. You look at the big cities, the infrastructure is strained. And it's like, well, there's no more room. So a lot of activists were like, oh, but look at the countryside. Look at this beautiful lush countryside. Look how much room there is. So now they're actually busing people around to the countryside. So, like, imagine living in a normal town that's, you know, very peaceful, low crime rate, nothing, you have no worries in the world. And maybe it's got like 5,000 people. And now they're bringing in like 6,000 refugees. Like, that's going to change the dynamics. It's going to change the way that town is run. It's like, right?
The entire social contract is going to get turned on top of its head.
Yeah. And it's like, well, why are people upset? Oh, they must be far right. So I saw for the first time, I don't really understand British symbolism, but I understand this is a historic moment. You have national Irish sitting side by side with national English. Like you got like the English flag, which I'm told is very racist. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, in certain parts of Ireland, showing the like core
St. George,
United Kingdom like the whole Union flag is like the equivalent of showing the Union flag in the south of the United States during the old Civil War times.
I didn't know that.
They just don't swallow that shit.
I didn't know that. But like, yeah. So you have like national Irish with national British just marching side by side, and it's like, okay, well, congratulations, Keir Starmer.
Unfucking precedented, man. Yeah, unfucking precedented. I mean, to think that that Northern Ireland would actually agree with something like in the Greater Union.
It would be shit. Okay. It would be like having a white KKK member with the separatist flag sitting next to a BLM Democrat.
Yeah.
And marching together for the same cause. Like, is that what you're saying?
Complete polar opposites, effectively, right? Because like there's a lot of bloody and a lot of abusive background between Ireland and the United Kingdom as a whole.
Oh yeah, the
right?
potato famine.
Oh fuck, it goes way further than that. There was some absolute dire and nasty shit that happened that happened to Ireland, not between, to Ireland. It happened to them.
Oh, it was during the when they changed the religion from Catholicism to Protestant.
Oh, it's way fucking further than that. We're talking about slavery. We're talking abuse, starvation, all sorts of forced fuckery. Like there's a lot of history. Like you could create your own set of documentaries about all of that shit. But at the end of the day, now we have people who are on usually complete cardinal opposites, like Cartesian opposites. And they're actually agreeing and at least willing to stand side by side for their unified point. That should be sending a message.
You know when I've seen that before? When President Macron decided to raise the gas prices. So I remember like seeing, like there were the pictures from the rally spread by a cross, which is like the political compass. And you had like the far left, you had like communists, like actual people with the communist flag. Marching with the Nazis, like side by side. You had like people with like the big swastikas and the stuff on their shirts, marching next to people with a hammer and sickle. And I was like, congratulations, Macron. You actually done it. You are the great unifier. Like you managed to bring people together. Macron,
man. Fucking Macron, man. I cannot believe he still actually has a desk. Holy shit.
Do you know how he managed?
I honestly don't know. I
So,
skipped
no, I
that part.
actually looked at
Of
it.
the post coalition
No,
assembly. I
I looked
skipped
at
that
it.
part, but
Okay, so they actually managed to get actual communists into office, and a couple of minutes later, the athletes are starving. I'm not making it up. Like, they managed to get like some really high professional commies in there. So they were worried about the EU elections because the far right was taking over. And what they did is they realized that there's a lot of left-leaning parties that have a lot of disagreements amongst them, and the voting is being spread. So what Macron did is he asked people from his party to step down. So like if it was a region that
he vacated seats to let
yes,
them populate.
over 150 people stepped down.
Holy fuck!
So
That should be scandalous. What the fuck is that?
So he got socialists and communists into office, and in order to fight the far right, that's how he won.
Yeah. So he forced a new coalition.
Yes. Like he actually.
That's nasty. That's stuff you'd expect on like House of Cards or something. That's crazy.
And he got the people to step down in the last moment so that the media can't even talk about it that much. So, like, if you are a leftist person and you're going to go to the voting booth, right, to vote for, I don't know, to vote for Macron's party, you can't. You can only vote for a communist or the far right. Like, that's what he did. And he managed to win. Now, in Britain,
holy shit.
In Britain, I was also wondering, like, why the fuck does Reform UK have so few seats? Because Reform UK was actually surging in the polls. So basically what happened in Britain...
First past the post voting, man. First past the post.
Yeah.
That shit's... We have the same thing in Canada. It's fucking weird,
man. Anyway, right. So, I'll just say this quick so you can leave. But like what happened in the UK is that people didn't like the Tories at all. Like none of the promises that they made, especially about immigration and especially about... right, like the platform itself.
Liz Truss into Sunak didn't work very well for them at all.
Yeah, they did. So people were like voting Labour out of spite rather than like actually supporting Labour policies. And you have Nigel Farage coming in from nowhere, and he's like, you know what? No, I'm actually going to offer an actual conservative alternative. And he's winning in polls, like he's surging. But I don't know how that electorate system works, because even though like he got a huge chunk of the votes, I mean he got I think like even more than the Lib Dems and the not more than Labour, but he got more than Lib Dems for sure. But when you look at the seats, he got like very few seats, and this is like the electoral college equivalent of the UK.
There's a whole like. I would say it gets complicated where, like, in order to really explain it, we'd have to take half an hour to really go into the nuance of it. But I would say the real deal with the first past the post, plus you mix in the weird way that the United Kingdom does its gerrymandering of its districts, because there is gerrymandering even done in their areas. They became a victim of the thing that they put into power about 8 years ago. Like they fell subject to the mechanism they put in about 8 years ago with the like they had done another electoral cycle.
Yeah.
So I have to admit I don't know all of the numbers and how they really poured down, but it looked like they got pinched in the same fucking mechanism. So I think they might have set up their own bear trap.
But anyway, I understand you gotta go play D&D. So
yeah, I gotta set up for my 8-hour gang. So yeah, here we go.
Right. Thank you for being here. Hopefully I'll see you next week, and I'll just sit with the chat for a little bit more.
Hell yeah. See you later, V. See you later, chat. And, stay safe out there.
Yeah, take it easy.
Take care.
All right, so let's see if we got more super chats. We got Todd. Thank you for being a member for 1 month. When UK police labels immigrants white, #down. I have seen this, especially in the United States. There have been like these pictures going around on Twitter. I don't know how realistic they are. But you see like, usually people that aren't really like Caucasian, but they're labeled as white for, I guess, like the crime statistics. So it makes kind of sense. People ask me to say who he is. He's a friend of mine. Goes by the name of Mr. Ors. He has a small YouTube channel, which is why you guys probably didn't hear of him. But I like his takes, and I think we're doing good banter, and he's a good co-host, which is why I have him. So yeah, every week is stupid. It's different than my regular show because I get someone to co-host with, and it's a little bit more interesting than me talking by myself. And as you can see, there's more viewers as well. But yeah, so aside the gamer petition, we talked about it. We did discuss it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and I will see you all later. Take care.